He did in his masters. He worked with extensively with the palm trees, but he then changed his focus towards the in his PhD towards the herbal remedy. He served as a professor in University of Baghdad for many years, and he shared his knowledge, amazing knowledge, with them, with the students. He is involved working with herbal medicine since more than, mashallah, 20 years. And today he will be sharing this amazing knowledge with all of us. The basic is like herbal medication, but with a more focus of cupping therapy and its relevance with Islam, inshallah. Thank you so much, sir.
السلام عليكم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد، فإن خير الكلام كلام الله، وخير الهدي هدي النبي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. ونسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يجعل هذا اللقاء منفعة لنا ولكم. اللهم زدنا علما نافعا وانفعنا بما علمتنا. O Allah, we ask you to increase our knowledge and let us get the benefits of this knowledge. So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Our topic today, inshallah, the scientific approach to the Tib Nabawi. The term Tib Nabawi didn't start at the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Actually, it started 400 years after the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we're going to talk about these topics. A brief history about the term Tib Nabawi and how it started, the medicinal information from hadith. There is a lot of hadith that's been collected by scholars like Bukhari, Muslim, and other scholars. From the history, Abu Nu'aym al-Asfahani was the first who collected the hadiths about the health and medicine. He was historian, he was a traveler, and encyclopedic. Most of the scholars in that time was encyclopedic. Then followed by the first physician, his name Ala ad-Din al-Kahal, and he wrote the first book. He collected and explained those hadiths from the physician point of view. You know, the scholars of hadith, they are not physicians. They don't know how to treat people or something like that, or the diagnosis or whatever. But the first one who started to explain, Ala ad-Din al-Kahal, the book name is الأحكام النبوية في الصناعة الطبية. Then the first one who used the term الطب النبوي. So al-Kahal, Ala ad-Din al-Kahal didn't use the term الطب النبوي, but he explained hadiths related to that. While the first one who came later, ابن القيم الجوزية رحمه الله في كتابه زاد المعاد, in his book named زاد المعاد, he just like make a special chapter and he named الطب النبوي. And he collected those hadiths and tried to just like balancing between what the physicians saying, the providers, what they believe about treat some illness, and what has come in the books. He was very encyclopedic. Let's talk about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was 40 years old when he became a prophet. So all that years he wasn't physician, he was a merchant, and before that he couldn't read or write. That's the main issue. To prove that he is a prophet, he couldn't read and write. But let's see what kind of hadith he taught us about. So, in my opinion, some scholars, they are two major schools. One of these schools, there are two hadiths kind, which I like it, as I mentioned here. The Revelations hadith, وَمَا يَنطِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَىٰ. So, some hadiths that related to medicine, it is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not from his knowledge. Other hadiths, sometimes they are cultural health beliefs. العرف الاجتماعي في ذلك in that time. So, let's get an example of the Revelations hadith. Who gets 7 days من تصبح ب7 تمرات لم يضره سم ولا سحر طوال ذلك اليوم أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم. So who gets 7 dates fruit as a breakfast, thus will protect him or her from toxins or poisons and evil magic all that day. So this is one of the knowledge wasn't there before. For Islam, Muslims in Arabia Saudia, in desert, they were just like isolated. Arabs was very limited in their lives, their opportunities to get just like herbs, to get information, to much more connected. How many doctors you in Medina or Mecca? You know Mecca, the capital of Arabs before Islam? There was one physician being known. All the physicians were traveling between tribes. And when time of Hajj came, they just like resident in Mecca till people come to. So who told the Prophet ﷺ that these 7 dates could save from toxins or poison? Didn't mention it before the Prophet ﷺ, not in any Chinese or India or Persia or even Greek. Nobody said that. This is the first person ﷺ who said that. This is revelation. But how about the example of cultural hadith? You know, one day there was some Arabs, so they try, hey Muhammad, we came to be Muslims, but we need to know about Islam, we need to be with you for a while. He said, okay, you are welcome, you are, oh yes. After 2 days, they got sick. They got edema. Do you know what edema is? Just like full of fluid in their body. Barely to breathe, you know, and they cannot eat or, so they came to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and said, hey, find us a doctor or physician. We are sick. So Prophet ﷺ, from, you know, this is before Islam. This is not the first one who said it as 7 dates. So he told them, you got edema, so go to drink camel's urine and milk. I know this is hadith sahih in Bukhari and Muslim, yes, this is right. But this isn't from the Prophet as a revelation. This is from the cultural, from other physicians. So the Prophet ﷺ used what he learned from his background and told them. One of the hadith also I like it. لا تكرهوا مرضاكم على الطعام فإن الله يطعمهم ويسقيهم. It's kind of a protocol how to treat sick child, especially children or even elderly people. Do not enforce the patients to eat or drink. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will inspire them with the food or drink which is benefits for them. Another hadith in the التلبينة تجم فؤاد المريض وتذهب ببعض الحزن. This hadith narrated by Sayyidah Aisha radiallahu anha, and she used to help widows in sorrow or in problems or feeling unwell, how to use it. So from scientific explanation about the 3 options from the hadith. So let's get this hadith. Best medication you may use are hijama and custis. And be aware not to harm your kids by rubbing their tonsils. إن أفضل ما تداويتم به الحجامة والقسط البحري ولا تعذبوا صبيانكم بالغمز من العذرة. This kind of hadith, this is one of the mix between revelation and the tradition. الغمز من العذرة, they use their fingers to rub or doing something that the tonsils when the kids cannot speak or coughing and bad breath, whatever. In Arabic medicine, just like the Razi, he said that you can use that with your finger after you dip it in honey or the dibs, or what we call it, the date palm fruit extract or nectar. Yeah, you can use those to do that. You may add just like cinnamon and ginger to do that with your finger. Yeah, but the Prophet ﷺ said, do not exaggerate that. Who knows? Maybe they. So that's why حجامة, the Prophet ﷺ put it حجامة, and قصد البحري. القصد البحري, this is another story. This is the picture of the قصد البحري. This is what they believe it was. It's very close to Janjar and Khalanjan, between Janjar and Khalanjan. This kind of a plant in Asia, South India, very close to Arab Sea. The second hadith is about الشفاء في ثلاث: شربة عسل، شرطة محجم، وكية نار، وأنهى أمتي عن الكي. Three, get healing by three things: anisib, minor cutting of hijama, and heat therapy. I do not recommend you to use heat till burning. You know, this is before Islam. This is all information of the Prophet ﷺ before Islam, except for honey. They use it before, but when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the Prophet ﷺ start to use it as a major cure. So that's why the three things he recommended. And hijama, before Islam and after Islam, he used it. Then he started to praise using hijama. And the K, we'll talk about it just a few seconds. Third hadith that also I like it. إن خير ما تداويتم به اللدود والصعود والحجامة والمشي أو المشي وخير ما اكتحلتم به الإثمد فإنه يجل البصر وينبت الشعر. The best of what you treated by were the herbal tea, sneezing, cupping, and walking abdomen bowel, meaning laxative, using laxative. You know, in desert, undehydrated, so they are always being constipated. There is not a lot of liquids around. That's why using laxative, the best thing. So this is came from hadith, from background, of the cultural background, and also mix it with revelation. But mostly, it looks like what that in that time, in the culture of formation. We'll talk about the ithmid, inshallah. The ithmid is a temani and in medicine. Well, how to use ladud? What's the meaning of ladud? For Arabic students who would like to know about the root of this word, من اللد وهو من الأدوية وما يصب في إحدى شقي الفم. That's meaning they make a concentrated herbal medicine, whatever it is. So the Prophet ﷺ said, yeah, you can do that. And a saud powder, very close to black pepper. They use the leaves of the plant. They crush it and use it as a powder and sneeze it. And after that they start to العطاس أو هذا الصعود. That's the sound. And also الحجامة, you know, the cupping, we are going to talk about inshallah. والمشي, that's meaning the laxative. So heat therapy for the K, it's old methods before Islam. It's been used a lot. There is modern and the old. Old, only the rocks. This is the old method. Using the rocks, they put it on a fire or whatever flames till it became too hot. They cannot control it. This is the problem. Why the Prophet ﷺ said, I don't recommend you to use heat. There is two reasons for that hadith. First of all, using K or heat therapy, it is 50-50. Some illnesses, just like back pain, sometimes if it is related to muscle spasm and just like because of cold or something like that, then heat will be good. But what if the back pain is not related to anything, to muscle or to tendons or anything else? Just like problem in the bones. So the heat will make it worsen and worsen and worsen. So the Prophet ﷺ gave us a warning, be careful about that. And you know, the physicians later and scholars explain this hadith and how it is very smart to say it and to tell people about it. This looks like a revelation. So, ما هو الإثمد? What's the إثمد is? It's oxides and hydroxides the secret of that. We know this is antimony is very toxic. Mixed with lead, also a chemical component, also very toxic. The secret of making ethmet or alcohol not to be toxic, nobody told us how it works. But in my opinion, it's a kind of a mixture of these metals with organic acids and other products to make it less toxic and safe. And they use it for centuries. Ibn Sina described wet cupping as a body blood purifier. To purify your blood, purify your body, you need to use hijama. And also described dry cupping. We're going to talk about it for back pain and suggested specific timing to do that. Hijama not doing in any time. And also he warned about hijama should be done by practitioners. Let me talk about the all theories of illnesses cause. Before Islam, any cause of illness is they accuse the supernatural powers, just like jinn, wicked demons, or whatever. Or sometimes it's stars, influence of stars, or Satan, or magic. Magic called you, push you to do that. But during Islam, after Islam, وَإِذَا مَرِضْتُ فَهُوَ يَشْفِينِ. We are going to get sick. And the Prophet ﷺ, في hadith also, he said, why you are not like to be sick? He said, Sahaba astonished of this question. The Prophet ﷺ asked them, why you don't like to be sick? Who would like to be sick? Oh Rasulullah. So he said, you know the donkeys, asses, they don't get sick. They work hard and they don't get sick. But we as a Muslim, when we get sick, we got a purification from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All theories of treatment. So before Islam, occultic rituals, while in Islam there is ruqya. And the ruqya, it works to healing. Or if you'd like, I'll do another lecture about ruqya and how it works. Before Islam, there was magical products, while in Islam it's herbal remedies only. And that's it, and Jazakumullah khair. Thank you for listening. Any
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us, for sharing this amazing knowledge. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us.